Hello everyone, I'm going to show you now how to do the stippling effect on the back of the cathedral window cushion. You probably can't see it on the camera there, but actually there's a lovely stippling design that's actually just enhancing the background of that beautiful fabric. So I'm going to show you a really easy way how to do it. The key thing is to get your eye in first. So all we're going to do is going to do a little bit of a test sample. When I say get your eye in, it's just relaxing with doing the stipple quilting because it's like freestyle embroidery. So the main thing to think about with your machine is, ideally, if you've got a darning foot or an embroidery foot, then please attach that to your machine. Follow the instructions with your machine and pop that on. Also, if you're using the darning foot or the embroidery foot, you don't need to drop your feed dogs, which means that if you have a machine that doesn't have that facility, or you need to put a plate over your feed dogs, then you don't need to if you have those feet. If you don't have those feet, you just use your ordinary one that you would use every day when you're stitching, but now you need to drop your feed dogs, okay? And you'll find that button, look at your instruction manual on your machine, but you'll find that on the back of the machine somewhere, there's a little switch that you just need to slide, and then your feed dogs will go down, and you'll be able to do the free motion embroidery. So to actually get going, I'm going to use our gorgeous fabric, and I've got purple thread. You're not going to do that at home, are you? You're going to use your matching threads or complementary thread. But so you can see it, I'm using purple. It seems quite appropriate. So what I'm going to do is pop my little piece under the machine now. I'm going to drop my foot down. It hardly moves, probably about 1 mil, that's all. That's why the embroidery foot is so useful. To actually start off, all I'm going to do is pop the needle down, bring your wheel forward to drop that needle down, get that bottom thread through, not easy to say, and just make sure that those threads are out of the way, and then we're going to do a couple of stitches just on the spot. I've got a little attachment, if you like, to the machine that will do that, but if you haven't, just do 1 or 2 little stitches just to secure that thread. And that's me done. So I'm going to actually cut those threads away, and they won't get in my way then. They won't get embroiled in all that lovely stitching. So again, make sure your foot's down and we're ready to go. So this is all about, you won't have, it doesn't matter about the stitch length because you're going to guide this around. You're going to need that lovely fluid action. So all we're going to do is start moving this around and making a lovely swirly pattern. If you can get your stitches the perfect length, fantastic. I haven't quite achieved that, but all you're doing is moving that around, and because you're using that embroidery foot, that's what it allows you to do. But this is just getting your eye in, ready for your main project. It's getting that fluidity. So we'll just carry on, and we'll just come off the edge of our piece of test there. So again, lift up your foot, and that will release your threads, and there we have a pretty good stippling effect. It literally is almost like snaking in the river. Some of the stitches are small, some a little bit larger. Please don't worry about that. And the other thing you could do is you could do that by hand stitching. You could do your embroidery. So think about chain stitching, all of that, a little running stitch, that type of thing. Perfectly acceptable. This is your cushion, so it's up to you entirely how you make that background work for you. So now we'll go on to the main piece, which is this gorgeous, I just keep stroking it because the quality is superb. And all I've done here is actually put our fusible wadding. We've got a sandwich, so we've got our top fabric, our fusible wadding, and then our backing. Now your backing ideally would be cotton as well, and so when it starts to shrink back, when you wash it, it'll shrink back at the same rate. I'm just using a little bit of sheeting here because we're demonstrating today. So just to sort of, now I would actually, just to go back to this again, the stippling, I would do this in quarters. So I do this quarter first, and then I would turn and I would use this quarter here. It's all about being in control. So I'll do 1 quarter. So I'm going over to the machine and we're going to do that first quarter. So I'm dropping my foot down. I'm just going to do a few stitches on the spot. I'm then going to bring that bottom thread through and just get it under my foot like that. A few more stitches just to secure, and then I'm going to snip my threads away. It just means that those threads aren't caught up with my free motion embroidery. So then we're off. Now, depending on the speed you go will depend really on the stitch length as well, how you move that fabric around when you're machining. I think at first some of your stitches will be really tiny, some will be quite large, but you know what? This is all about having a play and having a bit of practice. So we're just going to do that first quarter. So just moving that around, and you can see sometimes it stays on the spot while I'm moving the fabric, and other times it's more fluid, and it's just a wonderful thing to do. It's very relaxing. Don't worry if your threads, your stitches cross over each other, it's absolutely acceptable. This is your design. So we're just filling in the gaps. Think about the River Thames and how it flows through the centre of London. It swirls around, and that's what you're doing. You're just making a lovely swirly pattern on your design. And this can be as small or as big as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be such a large design. It can be a really small design depending on your project. So there's one quarter done. So what I would do now is put that under again. I'd start maybe in this corner and I would go into the middle and do that quarter there. And I'd continue on until I'd covered the whole of the back of the cushion. Now it seems a shame because you're going to be actually putting your patchwork over the top of that. But you know what? It's a great skill to learn. And once you achieve that, you'll be away. You'll be stippling forever. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've got something from it. I look forward to seeing all of your designs and projects. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.